want to see round 3. So I really hope this is going to be a good race for both runners. So let's see how this is going to go for them.
I think it's a very good chance of 3 rounds with such even abilities between these two runners. Like we talked about, they have very similar times in the group stage, very similar PBs. So you can't get much of a closer contest than this. And right away, we see different strategies. Dash Retro powers up and grabs the mushroom in 1-1. He will get the Fire Flower in 1-2. Meanwhile, Stewie Cartman is going small in 1-1, so we'll have to see what his strategy is. It means if he's going small in 1-1, he will also go small in 1-2. The question is, will they go for Small Fire Mario? I'm pretty sure Stewie is a Small Fire Mario runner.
It's going to be interesting if we see the Small Fire Mario strat, because it's good and a bit bad at the same time. It's good because you have some advantages there, but you definitely are going to lose time with the setup. But I really hope that something can happen here. But we start with the bad moment, because unfortunately Stewie Cartman received a troll attack by one of those piranha plants. So this make him losing a life, but at least he reached the checkpoint flag. So he is not going to lose so much time, but comparing with this, now Dash Retro has a little advantage in time. So I really hope that Stewie tries again to go for the mushroom, and probably we can see some Small Mario action.
Yeah,
so it's going to be really interesting.
Fire, you're gonna get the mushroom in 1-3 anyway. So the only thing the death did was cost him some time, but not his strategy. So we see him grabbing the mushroom here. Meanwhile, Dash Retro is Big Fire Mario, so he's all powered up. He grabbed his power up in 1-2, and he's going to be going through. What we're going to see in 1-4 is 2 different things. We're going to see Dash Retro go through and try to kill Bowser with fire power, and that's because it's faster to kill Bowser with fire than just touching the axe. If you touch the axe without killing Bowser with fire, you have to wait for the bridge to collapse, Bowser to fall in the lava, and that whole process costs a couple seconds. So it's faster to kill him with fire. You see the fire kill right here. There it is. That's still faster than running and hitting the axe, even that slowdown. And then what you're going to see Stewie do on the left side of your screen, he's going to jump over Bowser, then full jump and touch the axe at the same time as he touches Bowser. And that sets up the Small Fire Mario glitch. So Stewie took damage there, but Mario didn't shrink. So it kind of tricks the game because you hit the axe and Bowser at the same time. Stewie is actually in a vulnerable state here. If you were to take a hit, he'd die, but now he grabs the mushroom. That mushroom means he now is powered up, but he looks small, and that's because the game is confused. Now he grabs the fire power. So he is Small Fire Mario. This is a glitch state. It was not intended, but perfectly legal for SMB1 Warpless runs.
Yeah, here with the setup, as we have seen, we lost a little amount of time. But at least, the good thing for this is that now Cartman is going to have a little advantage, because he's going to be having this small Mario hitbox, but at the same time, he's going to be able to start to throw fireballs. So this is going to be something good and / safe for him. But due to the death that he got on 1-2, now Dash Retro is still having a little advantage. And now it's time for some fried fish. I wonder if the cat will want to have some of them. Because at least with Dash Retro, we're going to see that probably he's going to get some fried fish. Let's see if Stewie is going to do that. And definitely on these underwater levels, I think that it's going to be good. It's really good to have the Fire Flower. Otherwise, sometimes the cheap chips or the position of the bloopers can be a bit troll and can cause that any of the runners damage. But looks like Dash Retro is not having big problems trying to complete the stage.
He slowed down quite a bit. 316 would be optimal. He got a 304 when he exited the pipe, so he lost 12 in-game seconds, which is around approximately 4.5 seconds. So he definitely slowed down several times, but it's more important to slow down and keep your firepower than to go fast and lose your firepower. So Dash did the right thing. He came into a couple of tough scenarios with the cheap cheeps and with the bloopers, but he kept his firepower. But that did let Stewie Cartman close the door a little bit. So the gap shrunk there. Stewie had a better 2-2. Now they're in 2-3. It shouldn't be too much of a worry. There is a very trolly cheap you can get in the early portion of the level, but both of the runners are through the early portion. In the later portion of the level, there aren't really any bad cheap. So very good 2-3 for both runners. Now they head into 2-4. So on your right side of your screen, Dash is going to do a duck jump here off of this elevator. Perfectly done, and Stewie won't have to do that duck jump. Another little advantage of having small fire Mario is just you don't have to do these extra duck jumps or anything like that. He just does a normal jump. It's just one extra input you don't have to do. Makes things a little bit more comfortable. And Stewie picking up another in-game second on Dash, so probably gaining another 0.35 seconds or so. That would be one frame rule, which is an increment of 21 frames. This game checks for level completion every 21 frames, so you can only start in new levels every 21 frames. So it looks like Stewie closed up just another 21 frame gap, or the equivalent of 0.35 seconds. Dash with a perfect 3-1. 347 on the timer, and we'll see if Stewie can get that as well. Shooting the first Koopa over the second. 347 as well, going into 3-2. So, Ghost, it looks like the only major issue at this point in time was, of course, Stewie's early death there. But other than that, both runners very clean with their strategies so far. Anybody's game at this point in time.
Yeah, everything can happen. We are just starting at the middle of the third world. So, as I used to say when I comment these matches in Spanish, the real challenge is gonna start on the runners. It reaches 5-2, which is where the things starts to spice up. So, for now, it looks like both runners are taking this a bit calm. They are not trying to be so risky. Probably Stu is modeling this situation since he decided to go for the small boy Mario strategy. That definitely has started to help him, giving a little advantage. But definitely, as you have said, that there definitely wasn't something good for him. So the only reason why Dash Retro is ahead is just due to this that unfortunately Stewie got here. So now it's time to deal with some Podoboos on the third castle of the game. And also that fireballs that I used to forget the name of those things all the time. Nice memory that I have with this.
So very good 3-4 from Dash, and you do see both of them hesitate to wait on the Podoboos. That's because these Podoboos are of variable height. They sometimes are higher, sometimes they're lower, and it depends on the time at which you reach the Podoboo. Because they both have had some slowdowns, they're not going to know the Podoboo pattern, so they both hesitated just to wait for the Podoboo to get out of the way. Very smart, safe strategy, and both with very good 3-4. Now we're into 4-1, definitely the toughest level in the speedrun. No, I'm just kidding. It's the easiest level in the speedrun. And you just run right through. Lakitu's going to be throwing these spinies. They're not going to hurt you. Just keep running. Nothing's going to happen. But then we go into the infamous 4-2. There's a couple of options. There's the top route and there's the bottom route. So, chat, I'm curious what you see. We do have the proper coin count from Stewie Cartman. And bottom or top route, what do you think, Ghost Senpai?
Well, I will assume that probably Stewie, if he's going safe, I think he's gonna go through the top. Definitely the top is more safest, but it's a bit slow also. But I don't think that he should be so worried about this due to the small Mario hitbox. And then I have guessed right, so a point for Ghost. Nice. As you have seen, it's a more safer going on the top because you can avoid all the enemies. But at the same time, probably the setup can be a bit slow if you are like me that you doesn't do
or
the
if
setup
you're like
properly.
me,
But
if you're like me, you have problems getting to the top route sometime. I tried to get to the top route in my race. I fell, and I had to go bottom route, and I took a hit on the bottom route, and that cost me my tournament. So 4-2 can be scary either route you go. We are now in 4-3. And Dash had a little bonk at the start, so he's not going to get the optimal frame rule. Stewie, meanwhile, also he does a little turnaround there as well, so he's not going to get the optimal frame rule. There is an extra super special, amazing, awesome frame rule you can get if you don't slow down, and you get the sky pixel, but Stewie did have to slow down.
Stewie got one firework, so unfortunately that was a bit slow, so probably it wasn't worth that Dash lost that frame rule because again Stewie lost time, so probably they're like this in the same situation. They're still having the same difference in timing. And well, now this was the first Maze Castle 4-4, and now both runners have completed a half of the game, and we are so close to start with the real challenge of the game. 5-1 is not like a big stage where you should get so worried about, but at the same time you don't need to be so comfy. And yes, I'm forgetting how to speak. Amazing.
You're all good, man. It looks like Dash has about a 9-second lead when they started the levels. So Dash Retro about 9 seconds ahead. That is nothing in the world of SMB1 speedruns. We've had runs that have finished 3 frames apart in this tournament last year.
Yeah, I remember that moment.
This is still anybody's race. Very close races. And Dash dodging a bullet there. He gets a bad shot, but he's able to duck under it. Well done by Dash. Let's see what Stewie gets. No shot here, so he was able to save a little bit of time there. Yeah, he got
lucky for him.
Pattern. So we're in 5-2. And the speed run really starts here, right? Phantasma, lots of trolley patterns and stuff can happen from here.
Yeah, the bullet bill wasn't good for Dash, but at least he was able to avoid it without no issues. And now Stewie lost his momentum at the very end of the stage, so probably is gonna cost him like another second, maybe.
Oh,
and now 5-3, we have another flashback from 1-3, but now with bullet bills.
Yeah, now with bullet bills. It's the same layout as 1-3, but now there are these bullet bills that are firing, and Dash had some really nice dodges there in that one, 5-3, and Stewie with another good one as well. So both of these runners putting on a dodging clinic here. We go into 5-4. You're going to see them hesitate under this question block. That hesitation is to set up good fire bars in this tunnel here so they don't get in your way. So you see Dash getting through the fire bar section. Stewie going to do the hesitation and also come through the fire bar section. Meanwhile, Dash coming up on Bowser here. 5 fireballs, hitting the axe, 257. Stewie right behind, not too far off. Very good safe strategy there from Stewie, waiting on the Potaboos. And also a 256, so losing 1 in-game second to Dash. Again, essentially nothing here. Dash maintaining, an 8 to 12 second lead in that neighborhood.
Now 6-1, it's time to face Lucky 2 again, but it's slightly lag on 4-1, just keep going straight and you're gonna be good. And also, if at this point any of the runners should have lost any of their power-ups, this is a very good stage to do that, because on 6-2, it's a very specific stage where you will gonna like to have the Fire Flower due to the amount of Piranha plants. I don't know what was happening on the mind of the person who decided to make this interesting design for this stage, because as you have seen, there's a lot of pipe, there's a lot of piranha plants, so definitely in order to don't slow down, you will prefer to have the fire flower to be a bit safer. And looks like Dash Retro have lost part of his momentum, so he definitely should have lost like another half of a second or something like that.
Yeah, about 1 second.
That was going to be good for Stewie.
He got a 339 and Stewie got a 342. So that's approximately 3 frame rules, give or take a frame rule, which is approximately 1.05 seconds, give or take 0.35. So looks like Stewie closed the gap by about 1 more second there. And we see Dash with another bunk on the question block. Another opportunity for Stewie to close the gap even more. Stewie going the bottom route where Dash took the top route. And this is going to get very interesting. Dash with a 250 on the timer. Stewie looking to get a 254, it looks like, based off the pace he's going here. So another more than 1 second gain there for Stewie Cartman on Dash. This is getting closer and closer.
And now another flashback from another castle, but now with more Potaboos and fire bars, so I think this is 1-4, right?
Yeah,
if I remember
this is a repeat of 1-4.
Okay. But now Fake Bowser likes to throw some hammer, so we have a big extra challenge here to complete. And also through some lag, but guys were able to complete this castle without big issues. And now 7-1, we're getting ready for the ending of the game, and probably the ending for this first round. There's gonna be a lot of a lot of bullet bills here, and a couple of enemies that we should be avoiding.
Yeah, and Stewie closed the gap another 3 in-game seconds, so approximately another second in 6-4. We're in 7-1 now. Dash had the perfect 7-1. Stewie, perfect 7-1. So we're going to see Dash's screen flashed off there at 14:25. Where's Stewie's screen going to flash off? Looks like 14:32. So about a 7-second lead now for Dash. Remember, it was up around 9 or 10 seconds earlier. So it's down to 7 seconds now. Both of these players on really good runs. Dash has not lost power up. Stewie only took the death in 1-2, but has actually gone faster in more levels than Dash. Just that one death really costing Stewie. So this has been a very even race, and you know what? We expected that coming in because these two runners have had pretty much even times all across the board throughout the tournament, throughout their PB history. So this is what we're expecting. I think this is going to go all 3 games, but right now, this is just game 1 in the best of 3 series.
And I haven't put so much attention to Dash, but at least Stewie slowed down a bit because it looks like the pattern that he got with the cheap chips wasn't the best, and now he slowed down on purpose. Otherwise, he was gonna get 6 fireworks, which was gonna be translated into losing more time and now more flying cheap chips because they haven't gotten out on 7-2, and now it's time to get annoyed by them on the air on 7-3.
Yeah, and Dash had one of the tough cheap cheeps, but he got by it really nicely done. Great skill there from Dash. Stewie did lose about 1 second in 7-2, so it's another 8-second gap now. Dash, perfect 240. You don't have to hit the top of the flagpole in this level if you don't slow down. It's not going to cost you the frame rule. So Dash and Stewie both with perfect 7-3s. Now we're into 7-4. Our second maze castle. You got to take a specific path here. You got to go bottom, then in the middle here, as you see Dash doing, and then the top. And then you go top, middle, top. And the second part is a little bit harder. It's easy to kind of bonk your head, but Dash making perfect work of that second part of the castle there. And he's coming up for the fire kill on the 7-4 Bowser. Second to last Bowser of the game that we will see. Perfectly done, 343. Let's see if Stewie can match that. 342, he got the forward Bowser, which is a little bit harder to go really fast on, but great 7-4 from both runners. But Dash does extend the lead just a tiny, tiny bit there. He is in 8-1 with firepower. Should be very comfortable, but World 8 is a tough one because if you if you take a death in World 8, I should say, you go all the way back to the beginning of the level. There are no checkpoints at all in World 8. So you saw when Stewie took the death in 1-2, he started partway through the level when he restarted after his death. That was because he hit a checkpoint in that level. Well, here there are no checkpoints. If you die at the very end of 8-1, if you were to go in the hole in one of these stairs, you would go all the way back to the beginning of 8-1. Same for 8-2, same for 8-3, same for 8-4. So very important not to take a death in World 8. All right, 8-2, Dash going through the 8-2. Lots of dashes in my sentence here. And Stewie Cartman not too far behind. The end of 8-2 is pretty tricky. You've got these triple Koopas here. Got to make sure you don't get hit by them. Oh, no! And Dash takes the death! That changes the race completely. Stewie has to make sure he doesn't have the same problem.
And definitely this was a caster curse by Takare because he was calling this on the previous stage. So this is so unfortunate because as you have seen, obviously Dash Retro has started from the beginning, from the stage. But at last, the good thing is that on this last world, you should go for the any person strat and you're going to be fine. But looks like Dash Retro wanna be more safer and wanna take some mushrooms. So here definitely Stu is now having the lead unless also he gets an unfortunate deadline. Dash got it, and well, I want to assume that probably Dash was trying to get the items to be a bit safe here because usually, sometimes you can get some bad patterns with the Hammer Bros on 8-3. So let's see how does this make this. And now Stewie has started with the last stage of the game, 8-4. So let's see how this is gonna be. His luck for him probably is going to be a sub 20, which is going to be a very good time for a race.
Yeah, both of these runners are on sub 20 pace. Really clean run from Dash until that death in 8-2. I mean, he hadn't taken damage even. And now he's going to get the 232 on the timer. Stewie into the turnaround room of 8-4. He's got 2 rooms left. This water section here. If he gets through the water section without taking a hit, he's home free. Because even if he takes a hit in the final room, the iframes will get him to the axe. So Stewie playing it very safe there on the fire bar. Smart decision. Keep your firepower. Into the last room after a little bonk there. And Stewie is home free. He's going to take the first game here between these two. That was an incredible race. back and forth action. Stewie with a 1940 in race number 1. And we see Dash not even doing the turnaround room. He's just going to do the old school strat of just going straight through the room. Get your GGs out for Stewie. We're going to get some GGs out here for Dash in just a second. That was such a good race between the two of them. Really, really, really clean by both runners, each with one mistake. Unfortunately, Dash's mistake came at the wrong time. It came when there was no checkpoints, and Stewie's came when there were checkpoints, and that was the difference. Stewie Cartman taking game 1, you know, that's how these things go. They can be very back and forth, but Stewie taking game 1 in our best 2 out of 3 series. So Ghost Senpai, looks like we got another race to set up here.
Yes, and give me some seconds give me some time while I do this.
Certainly. So Ghost Senpai, of course, our speed gaming helper here. So let's, of course, make sure to thank him for all the work he's doing behind the scenes, as well as commentating. So very big thanks to Ghost Senpai. He's going to try
to, because I used to forget that I'm commentating. I'm just watching the race, and then I realized, hey, you should also be trying to commentate. But then I listen to your commentating, and I say, okay, let's get relaxed and let's listen to Tecate while I watch the race. So
yeah, no worries. So let's go get set up this second race. You can take care of that, and I'll take over the commentary for a little bit while you take care of getting race number 2 set up. So chat, I want to hear your thoughts in chat. All of you here in chat, what do you think's going to happen in race 2? We had an incredible first match between Stewie and Dash. Get your predictions out for race 2. I'm going to read them out. Whatever you guys think's going to happen, let me know in chat. This has been already a good start to the knockout stage of the 2020 SMB1 Warpless tournament. Very awesome first race between the two of them. Dash Retro with the overall, I guess they both had pretty clean runs, but Dash and Stewie each taking 1 hit, and Stewie taking the win. So I see a couple predictions here. We're getting a game 3, another game 3. Dash going to tie it up. We could see a third game. Stewie is not going to go for 1-2 pipe jumps. I think that's a pretty safe bet. Dash will win by less than a second. Less than a second. I'd love to see that. How amazing would that be if Dash won by less than a second? So we are getting another SRL room set up for these two runners. So just give us a little bit of time here. They'll be firing up game number 2 in just a moment. But I love seeing these predictions in chat. You guys are bringing the fire. Oh, man. What a first race. You got to be excited by that one. This is exactly what we want to see from this kind of tournament. Good competition, friendly competition. They had some good chat in SRL, the two of them. Very friendly, fun chat between them, letting each other know what had happened and stuff. But, we got Dash going to take it to game 3 with the highlighted message. Let's go. Go, Stewie, go. We see in chat. You guys have got both sides of the competition here. We got Dash supporters. We got Stewie supporters. We got supporters of both of them. This has been a fantastic race, and I think, Stewie Cartman saying here in chat, what were those bill patterns in 5-3? Both of them had crazy bills in 5-3. What's up, Ghost? Looks like you got everything set up.
Yes, we are. I have set up the SRL room, so let's wait until the guys join, and we're going to be able to start with the second match of the night. And I don't know about you, but I really want that Dash wins the second round. So with this, we're going to be on a better moment with the third round, and everybody's going to be nervous about what is going to happen. I don't know about you, but I really want to watch a third round here to spice up the things.
But I'm feeling pretty good that we're going to see a game 3. I don't know. We'll see. But this has certainly been a good one. Do you think we get to see any strategy changes? Of course, Stewie with the victory. I think one of the people in chat said they don't think Stewie's going to go for pipe jumps in 1-2 this time. It's probably a safe bet that Stewie will go safer strategies in 1-2 instead of riskier strategies because he has the lead now. He can afford to go a little bit safer.
Well, I'm not quite sure about this because Well, Stewie now has a first point that I don't know if you get a point on a best of 3 match. I don't. Well, at least by me, I don't think that I will get for another safety moment. Probably that's gonna be good in order to try to be more safe for the second point. But also, Reese's strat should be good to do. But at the same time, every mistake can cause a good amount of time, as we have seen with bot runners at the beginning of the first round with Stewie getting a dead on 1-2 and Dash having a dead on the World 8 where there's no checkpoint. So anything can happen on this second match, and I don't know, but I'm starting to feel a bit nervous about what can happen definitely here. So, well, the countdown hasn't started, so let's see. Let's wait until the World 5 begins. So with this, we can start to think about what is going to happen.
World 1 also, because
5-2.
Lots of things can happen even in the early game. 1-2, for example, or 2-2. So they are underway in SRL. Obviously, the restream will catch up here in just a second, but they are underway. Race number 2 about to start. Stewie Cartman with the 1-0 lead over Dash Retro. Just to recap, this is a best of 3. Stewie leads 1-0. Stewie is the number 17 seed. Dash the number 16 seed. The winner of this will move on to round 2 of the elimination bracket stage, face the number 1 seed and current world record holder, GTA 99. They are underway. Race number 2 starts now.
And looks like Stewie forgot to deactivate his alert, so I really hope that nothing bad happens due to that.
All right, we have the same strategies as last time. Stewie did take a bunk on the stairs there, and we'll get these times synced up here in just a second. Obviously, Ghost Senpai on the ball here, but Dash.
I'm doing some basic math because Dash hasn't started with the main screen, so it's time to do some basic math. Do the math, not like in the tutorial.
Stewie takes a death. Stewie a death in 1-2 again, but in a different spot here, and he did not hit the checkpoint. So Stewie in a bigger hole than even last time because the death is more costly this time because he did not quite hit the checkpoint there. So very unfortunate for Stewie Cartman. Dash going to open up a sizable lead already, and Stewie still needs to power up in 1-3. Activate the small fire Mario glitch, power up in 2-1. So Dash is going to have at least a full level lead as long as he doesn't take damage, take a hit, anything like that. So very unfortunate for Stewie. It looks like he was playing safe strategies. He just shorted a jump there and went into the pit. So I don't know if it's a little early game nerves or jitters there. But we'll maybe find out in the interview stage later. But once again, we kind of see a repeat of game 1. But this is even more advantageous for Dash Retro compared to game 1.
Alright, or we don't know, probably that was a kind of secret strat or probably a secret good luck moment for Stewie because he took a death on 1-2 and he won, so probably something like that was gonna happen here, or probably not. But we can agree that it was a very bad moment for him because, as you have said, this is probably like almost the stage of advantage for Dash. So looks like Steve is gonna set up again, and yes, he tried to set up again, but he missed it. He tried to set up again the small for Mario strategy. Unfortunately, he failed on this. So again, let's try to get power ups again, and this is gonna be more slow for him.
Bigger advantage for Dash now because Stewie has to go big fire Mario. And I don't think that's exactly what Stewie's planning. As far as time, it doesn't really matter. But maybe in comfort level, it's a little bit more of an advantage for Dash because Stewie's used to playing small fire Mario. Now he has to do big fire Mario strategies, which could be a little bit more treacherous for him. Maybe he takes a little bit more safe strategies or feels a little more rattled or something like that. But yeah, I mean, this is just one of those situations where you gotta go with the flow. It's a race. You can't reset at this point. So Stewie gonna have to make do with big fire Mario.
Well, probably you can reset, but that doesn't mean that you're gonna save time, because also the time that you have invested on a bad run, if you reset, you need to add that time in order to make a more I forgot the word. Nice. Well, more fair race with everything race. That's not the point. So you need to deal with all the bad moments that you get here. And as we are watching here, looks like Steve is having some problems. Probably he's not so used to play as Big Fire Mario in 2-2. But the show needs to continue. He wasn't able to get the glitch, but he needs to keep going. And now, let's keep trying to get some fried fish into the street. It looks like it's like Dash not having bad patterns with the Cheap Chip, so that's something really good for him. Because sometimes this Cheap Chip likes to be trolled. Okay, Cheap Chips wasn't a big problem for Dash, so let's see how this game are gonna be with Stewie.
Yeah, and with Stewie, we need to watch and make sure he can do the potential duck jumps. He does right there. And I mean, Stewie's a great player. Don't get me wrong. He's an incredible Mario player. SMB 3 especially is his bread and butter. So he's used to duck jumps. But, you know, it's just one of those things where you're a little bit out of your comfort zone. But Stewie handling it very well. So props to Stewie for being able to adapt on the fly to a different strategy. Perfect 2-3 for Stewie Cartman. Dash Retro a little slow on the Bowser kill, but he will absolutely take that all day. No problems there for Dash in 2-4 on to World 3 for Dash. Meanwhile, Stewie, let's see if he handles this duck jump. No problems. So great job by Stewie. He is totally comfortable with these big Fire Mario strategies as well. Definitely seeming to handle them very well, despite the fact that it wasn't his intended strategy, but totally on his game here as far as big Fire Mario. And hopefully those early run jitters or whatever was going on there is out of him, and he can have a very comfortable run from here on out. But Dash does lead by almost a full level at the end of 3-1 going into 3-2. All right, Dash Retro coming up on the what we call the thank you Goofy section of 3-2. We'll see if he does the strategy. He does. You hear those fireballs right in tune with the music. Bop-ba-dop. That despawns a Goomba right in front of the stairs. Thank you, Goofy. That was a strategy found by our good friend Goofy Chocobo, one of the best SMB1 runners in the world. Any percent, Warpless, doesn't matter. Goofy Chocobo, one of the best in the world. He came up with not the despawn itself, it's been known about for a long time, but just the fact that you can shoot the fireballs perfectly in tune with the music to despawn the Goomba is a really nice find. It's a good audio cue. But coming into 3-4, I'm sure we're going to see Dash play the safer strategy, and Stewie gonna go for the more aggressive strategy. Or sorry, not more aggressive strategy. He will definitely be playing safe as well because he took the death. But both of them will be playing safe strategies. But Stewie, overall, maybe need to be a little more aggressive to try to make up time is what I'm trying to say here. But Stewie going with his patented route in 3-3. It's a very unique route. Most players don't take his path through 3-3. Dash, beautiful 3-4. 2:58 on the timer, and Stewie coming into 3-4 now.
You know, any person's flashbacks, but now with a little difference that in this case is going to be the Fire Mario stats, but again, just keep running and you're going to be good. 4-1 usually is on the stage where you should be so worried about, but at the same time, you need to remember that on any speedrun, if you start to feel comfy, that's a signal that something bad is going to happen.
Exactly. I was just going to say, like, we were getting kind of comfortable there in World 8 in the first race. Dash had his lead, and he had fire, and, you know, not a whole lot was going on, and then all of a sudden he fell down a hole, and the whole race changed. So anything can happen at any moment in these races, even 4-1. I've seen some good runners take some hits in 4-1, so you never know what's going to happen. We are in 4-2, and Dash going to go bottom route, as he usually does, and Stewie's the one who goes top route, so I once again confused them, but Dash going his patented bottom route, and perfectly done there. Stewie, meanwhile, going to go top route again, I believe, and as Big Mario, we'll have to see if it changes a little bit for him, because he usually goes small Fire Mario in 4-2. Is he going to get these duck jumps here? He does, but he is not able to get the top route. That's exactly what happened to me in my race. Stewie's going to have to adapt. He's doing very well sniping the piranha plants out of the way. And did much better than I did. Really nicely done by Stewie. Even though it wasn't his intended route, he only lost 2 in-game seconds, about 0.7 seconds in real time. So very nicely done by Stewie on the adaptation there. Not being able to get his top route, but still having a very good bottom route there in 4-2. So we are about a level apart here. Dash in 4-4, our first of the 2 maze levels, as we talked about in the first of the best of 3 series. And Stewie just finishing up 4-3. But yeah, we've had, all sorts of various scenarios that could play out here. But the main thing is if Dash keeps this run clean, he's going to be just fine. So right now for him, it's all about cleanliness. One of the things I'm curious about, and Ghost, I'm curious about if you ever do races when... it looks like Stewie went for the clip there, or maybe just slipped. I couldn't quite tell. But it'll be interesting in the interviews to see if either of these runners were following the other in terms of like the restream or looking at the other stream or anything like that, because that could also alter your strategy. So... Ghost Senpai, what do you... yeah, I mean, it looked like he slipped in 4-4 there, not Liquefy, but it also kind of looks like he tried to go for the clip after he slipped. So I was a little curious about that. Like, when he slipped, he was like, oh, may as well go for it. But, yeah, we'll see. So, Ghost Senpai, I was just, kind of wondering there, like, do you ever, when you race, do you watch your opponent stream or anything like that?
No, I don't used to do that because definitely that can put you in a bad situation because you can get distracted easily, but at the same time you can start to feel nervous when you see where the other runner is. I think that the surprise factor is better in these cases. But I don't know. The last time that I had a race of SMB1 was on the tournament where you make that I was eliminated from back in 2018, but I was aware of that, so I'm fine with it.
There you go. So yeah, each runner has their own strategy on what they like to do to make them feel comfortable in these races. Some people watch their opponents, some people don't. And it all depends, I guess. But it's going to be an interesting interview question to see if these runners know where each other are. But we are in 5-4. You're going to see the pause under the question block like we saw in the first race. Meanwhile, we've got Stewie Cartman over here in 5-3, avoiding the Bills. Pretty comfortable pattern overall for him there. Dash, gonna play it safe, go down the pit. He actually had kind of an ugly pattern. The pit was actually, even though you don't want to go down there, it actually was almost the best decision from him there because he got a really awkward Potaboo and Bowser fire pattern that had he not gone in the pit, probably would have taken a hit. So looks like the pit ended up being the best thing for him, even though I don't think that was the intended thing, the intended route that he meant to take there in 5-4. But sometimes, it's better to be lucky than good. I always say that.
Yeah, definitely if you're lucky, that's going to be better on a situation like this. So I really want to assume that it's not so much the experience or the skills of the runners. I still say that in races, the luck factor is the most important one, is the thing that is going to define what is going to happen mostly, because probably you can be lucky, probably not. We have seen unfortunate moments at the beginning of the second round and also in the first round. So for now, it looks like Dash Retro is not having any kind of big problems, and I'm a bit surprised that Stewie, well, not surprised really, because if he wasn't able to get the smaller Mario glitch on the first world, I don't have any doubt about people don't try to get it on another world, because on the setup you lose time, so you're gonna lose more time if you try to set it up again. So it makes sense for me, but we have been watching these slowdowns with him, and also Dodge has been getting his slowdowns. But besides of these little mistakes, both runners are doing a very good job here. There's no doubt about that.
Oh yeah, they're doing a great job, and Stewie should definitely be commended on the job he's doing here as Big Fire Mario, not his intended strategy. Oh, Dash slowing down to avoid the fireworks, very nicely done. But yeah, Stewie did not plan to be Big Fire Mario here, but once he got Big Fire Mario, he hasn't lost the power-up state, so he's done very well to keep his power-up. It's just unfortunate because he took that death in 1-2 and didn't get his Small Fire Mario set up, and that's really been the difference so far in this race. And unlike the first race where we were about 8 to 10 seconds apart at this point in the first race, Dash has a full level lead. Dash could actually afford to take a hit and probably still power up and still be ahead of Stewie at this point, depending on, the specific circumstance. It could be close, but, and as I say that, Stewie taking a hit to the fire bar, that's where the small fire versus the big fire Mario may have come into play. If he was small fire Mario, he would not have taken a hit there, but as big fire Mario, he takes a hit, and now he gets trolled by Bowser. Bowser throwing the worst possible pattern, the axe guard pattern, and Stewie takes a death. Now he's in a very deep hole. He's going to need some major mistakes from Dash to catch up in game number 2. But it's not all hope lost for Stewie. Remember, this is a best of 3, and Stewie won the first race, so not out of it yet, but certainly Dash with a commanding lead at this point in game number 2.
Okay, definitely I am starting to feel nervous, and I'm not running this, so definitely, I don't know. I think I'm starting to get excited about we possibly can see a third round, because again, everything can happen on the race. So for now, the advantage that was having Dash, it's now it has been increased. So, and again, everything can happen. We have seen the last race where unfortunately Dash died on 8-2, losing a good amount of time, and that was opportunity for Stewie to make a comeback. And okay, Stewie was so close to die to that bullet bill. Fortunately, he was able to step on it, so he was able to keep going and obviously don't die. But well, it's World 7, so we're still having some checkpoint flags. But at the same time, it's not supposed that we should die here, obviously. So while now
Dash took a hit in 7-2, so he lost his power up. So this is potentially an opening. He's gonna skip the power up in 7-3. That's a decision that is left up to the comfort of the runner at this point. There's only one power up to get between here and 8-2, and it's this one in 7-3. Dash decides to skip it, which is totally a fine choice. It's the choice I also prefer to make. You can either choose to get the power up for safety, or you can choose to skip it and just do some safer strategies. There isn't a whole lot that's super precarious in 7-4 or 8-1. Or even, the first half of 8-2 as Small Mario. But it still can be up to some runners' comfort to just want to have an opportunity to take damage. But Dash skipping the 7-3 power-up, going small-only Mario, gonna wait on Bowser. Bowser turns and jumps again, and Dash goes under him. Meanwhile, Stewie in 7-3, about 1.5, almost 2 levels behind. So even with Dash's little hiccup there, he still holds a solid advantage over Stewie in game number 2 of this best of 3, which Stewie leads 1-0. So, Stewie, some very nice snipes on that Koopa there, that Para-Koopa in 7-3. Little bonk in the stairs, avoid the 6 on the timer, and keep going. But Dash going to do safe strategies here in 8-1. The smart decision. You don't want to do any percent strats in 8-1 in a Warpless race unless you absolutely have to. All right, and Dash, very solid 8-1 with safe. Oh, no!
My goodness,
that is the worst of the commentator right there. I was saying very solid 8-1, and he takes a death. Unbelievable. We are still not in the clear here, folks, as far as what is going to happen. Dash now with less than a half of a level lead. And as Small Mario, while Stewie is Big Fire Mario. So this changes everything. Dash took a death at the worst possible time and location that you could take a death in this whole speed run, the very end of the longest level in the game with no checkpoints. And yet he's still in the lead. So that tells you what kind of a commanding lead he had at that point. But no longer a commanding lead, just a lead. Ghost Senpai, this has to be some very nervy moments for Dash.
Yeah, definitely. Well, because let's assume that any of the runners are watching the race and are watching their opponent. So, if that's the case, you're gonna be nervous because if you take a death like that, obviously you realize how much time you're gonna lose, and at the same time, you don't know where does your opponent is. So, if this is the case for Dash, I don't know. Definitely, I will be so nervous about this. Nervous slash worse slash having a big amount of mixed feelings this moment.
Yeah,
And
Dash,
looks like Dash again wanted to take some power ups to be safe.
The question is, does he power up here in 8-3 or just go for it? If he's watching it back and sees how close Stewie is, he probably cannot afford to take the power up. Maybe, maybe not. But so maybe he's watching and knows
so.
he can't afford to waste the time here, and he's just gonna go for it, absorb a hit if he can. Because earlier, I believe it was Stewie powered up in 8-3 in the first race, but and Dash gets fireworks. That's going to close the gap even more. Oh my goodness. If Dash misses the wall jump, Stewie could be right there. And this could get crazy, especially the runners are synced. Dash started his timers earlier, so the runners are synced here. Everything is fine as far as sync. But we're going into the wall jump room. This is super important for Dash to hit this wall jump. He got it, so that's a big thing. Now, no troll cheat sheets.
We got it also. So
Dash,
let's see.
Pixel perfect turnaround. All right, through the water section here. He takes a hit. He's gonna have to wait a little bit. They're both in the water section here. Gotta wait in the fire bar. You cannot get a hit by a Potaboo or Bowser here. This is not over, folks. Oh, he brushes the pipe. He dies to the Potaboo.
Oh my God,
Stewie is going to win the best of 3, 2-0, because Dash brushed the pipe at the end of 8-4. What drama here, and Dash takes another death, probably feeling really bad at this moment. Oh my goodness, we just witnessed something that this is how races go. These are the moments that happen in races that you cannot explain. That's why we play these games. They're not on paper. Anything can happen. One of the least things you'd ever expect just happened, and that's how races go. That's the human element of speedrunning, playing this game. I feel awful for Dash because he played so well today, and his result is not going to show how well he played today. But, we'll see when we do the interviews what he's feeling. But I feel very, very, very bad for Dash. He played so well today. Both races, he played incredibly well, and these times are not reflective of how well he played. But we do have...
This was a heartbreaking moment. This was a really heartbreaking moment. I think that I'm speechless about what we have seen. This really hurt me to watch this. I was expecting that finally this was gonna be a good round for Dash, and unfortunately we got this moment. But if I am really sure about something, if we have learned something today, is that if you're gonna have a race, be sure that the cat doesn't come in it if you don't want to get a curse moment.
I have to say, I'm very sorry, Dash, for all the commentator curses. But you two, Stewie and Dash, we have them both here in the interview room. So make sure to stick around for these interviews because this is going to be good. But Dash and Stewie, you two put on an incredible show. Both of those races were filled with drama, filled with incredible gameplay. I was just saying, Dash, and I want to start with you, even though you lost. You played amazing in both runs, and it's one thing here or one thing there that cost you this best of 3 series. But honestly, dude, you played incredible. Tell us how you're feeling. That's all I can ask.
Well, you basically said it. I mean, that's what I was thinking when I, coming in here is, you know, a lot of the time when you lose a race, you think, oh, if this just didn't happen, but you're thinking about just the last thing that happened, you know, but really there were like 8 things, you know. This, it doesn't feel that way. It's definitely, pretty 100%. You died at the end of a level in World 8, both races.
Dash, I have to say one thing. I lost levels world record 2 hours ago to bonking right in front of Bowser. So
I heard about that.
I feel you, man. I understand. But, dude, you played so well today. You played really well. I mean, you didn't lose power-up in the first race until you died, and you didn't lose power-up in the second race until you died in 8-1. You played incredible, but just didn't quite have the result to show for it.
Yeah, like, so both races I kind of floundered at the very start, because I always do, because I'm nervous on races, you know, and then I feel like I made up for it for the rest of the run, and I'm sitting there thinking, like, yeah, okay, I'm feeling good, I'm doing well, I might be ahead, because I don't know, you know, but then, so it's like, in 8-2, the thing is, on the part where some people do BBBB, I kind of slowed down a little bit extra, and I don't know, it made the Koopas all weird, and I died, and blah. But then the second time, or the second race, it was that, like, for some reason, today specifically, I've been having issues getting into the pipe at the end of 2-2 and 7-2, you know, at the end of the water levels. For some reason, like, the spot that I pump isn't landing me in front of the pipe anymore, because I keep messing it up somehow. And so, this time, I'm getting that troll blooper at the end of 7-2, but I read it, and I'm like, it's fine, right? I can make it. So I went for it, but my pump was bad. I ended up on the step in front of the pipe, which stopped me, and then the blooper hit me, and so that was my power down in the second race. That would have been fine, though, because, you know, I'm used to doing the end of the game small by now, so that, like, would have been fine, but I backwards bumped in 8-1, which scrolled Mario over, and then that made me slow down a little bit more than usual because I was, like, trying to deal with it, you know? And because of that, I was, like, hyper-focused on the timer. I'm like, what's the timer gonna be? Can't get fireworks. And in that, like, hyper-focus, I messed up my stair climb and died. So, there you go. There's inside the mind of, like, exactly what happened.
And we have to turn over here to Stewie, our victor. Moving on to the next round, Stewie Cartman. First of all, congrats on the win. Congrats on moving on. You get to face GTA's next. But I want to ask you, 1-2 must be a little bit of a bugaboo level for you at this moment.
I don't even know what happened. Like, the first time I hesitated on the pipe jump, and I knew right away. And then that second death, I think I just jumped to like a frame early or something, because I've never died like that.
Yeah, the second one was more interesting than the first one because the pit, of course, got you. You know, normally when we die in 1-2, we die out of the Koopa Goomba jump, which of course you were playing safe, kicking the shell, but or the pipe jumps or something like that. But the pit was an interesting one. But you held it together. I want to ask you about specifically race number 2 because you went for small fire Mario in both races, but in the second one, you missed that. And it doesn't really cost you any time to miss it because you're going to end up getting the power-ups anyway. But the difference is in the strategy. You're Big Fire Mario. But you looked really comfortable with Big Fire Mario.
I haven't done Big Fire Mario in months. I have no idea how I kept that together for most of the race.
I mean, you did fantastic. You took a couple of maybe, safe strategies, which absolutely you should do, but you didn't lose power up at all, I guess, maybe except it was to Bowser or something in the final room there. But
no, I died at the end of 6-4 in the second race.
Oh, that's right. You did. The death in 6-4, and that actually opened up a really big gap. I was curious if either of you two knew where the other runner was, because it felt like... Okay, so Stewie, you definitely were not watching. Dash, were you watching Stewie at all, or had any idea where he was?
No, I don't.
Okay, so both of you were on the don't know strategy. Don't look at the other runner. And I think that generally is the preferred strategy of most people. But there were moments I was questioning, like, maybe they're actually thinking of where the other runner was. Dash, specifically with you in 8-3 of the second race, you were Big Mario. And I was wondering if you're going to fire Flower up, because had you done that, and gotten Fire Flower in 8-3, you and Stewie would have basically been tied at that moment. So I thought maybe there was a chance he was watching Stewie, knowing if he had gone for the Fire Flower, it would have slowed him down too much to let Stewie catch up. And instead was just like, I'm going to go through 8-3, and if I take damage, that's fine because I can take one hit. But was just curious because some of the strategies both of you chose were kind of interesting in that it looked like you were watching each other, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, so the thing with that is, like, I generally prefer in a race setting, like, my idea is that if I get hit in World 7, I just go basically small only, except I'll take the safety shroom in 8-2 to give me protection in 8-3, you know? On that first race, though, for some reason, I don't know, I was just feeling cheeky, so I got firepower. But the thing is, like, fire doesn't help me at all in 8-4, and actually, you may have noticed on the first race, maybe I don't remember if I was big, but I do not know how to do the water section big, so I kind of almost prefer to get hit in 8-3.
I'm right there with you, dude. I'm not good at the water section as Big Mario, but Stewie, I want to turn it over to you here. You are the victor in this best of 3. First of all, okay. Before I move on to this, you two had some insane things here. We have you two with incredibly close times in average time in the group stage. You two have PBs that are 2 seconds apart. You're seated right next to each other in the bracket stage, 16 and 17. But we knew this was going to be a good one, and it didn't disappoint. But Stewie, you're advancing. You get to face some guy named GTA's 99, only, you know, holds the world record in this. How are you feeling about that?
R.I.P.
You know, anything can happen in these races, and that's why we play them out. I was saying during this race, Dash had a 2-level lead, and we were sitting here all comfy. I'm sipping my wine, and Dash was like, you know, cruising along, and then the death in 8-1. So anything can happen. Anybody can drop an input. But Stewie, I just wanted to congratulate you on the win. Dash, congratulations on a very good tournament, advancing out of a tough group stage. And first of all, before we get final words, well, Dash, your final words. How did you feel about this tournament? And you looking forward to the rest of it?
I really like the tournament. I'm a little relieved to not have to go lose to GTA. So, you know, thanks for doing it instead, Stewie.
Yeah, no problem.
But yeah, I really enjoyed the format of the tournament this year, and I'm looking forward to sticking around to do more commentaries because that's kind of my favorite part. So yeah, I'm loving it. I'm liking that it's still going, and the best is yet to come. And also, I wanted to throw out that you mentioned that our PBs are 2 seconds apart. They are also, Stewie and I's PBs are also both less than a week old. So congrats, Stewie, for your new PB.
Both of you, less than a week old PBs. Yeah, you two are on the same page as far as SMB1 Warpless, it seems. And I do want to say GG's to both of you on the PBs. Stewie, any final thoughts here? You know, obviously you got the victory here and going to face GTA. So what are your thoughts going forward? Yeah, or just in general on today?
Oh, this tournament was fun while it lasted for me.
That's the mindset. Nah, go get him, Stewie. You're gonna do just fine. And you know, just have fun with it, right?
Oh,
you know, you're going against the best in the world. The whole goal is just to have fun and play a good race and see what happens. Alrighty, and before we get rolling, we just wanted to say, first of all, I want to say thank you to Ghost Senpai. Ghost, do you have any final thoughts and words on this race that we saw today and on the tournament? Because obviously you're working with SpeedGaming here and setting up the channel and setting up the stream. Wanted to thank you, but what final words do you have here?
Never set up and comment on a race at the same time.
Never set up and commentate a race at the same time. Those are your final words, folks. Go ahead.
And also, GG's guys, you made it so well. Congrats, Stewie, for winning. I really wish you the best luck for you to face GTAs. 2 years ago, I faced Cosmic, and I was having a 58 minutes PB, so I really hope that you can do it well. I believe in you, man. And Dash, also GG's, and good luck in the rest of your adventure in SMB1 Warpless speedrunning. You do it well also.
Hey, thanks.
Both Both runners are fantastic. Make sure to follow them. Exclamation R for our runners. Follow Stewie Cartman, follow Dash Retro. Both very awesome people. Really good people. And we want to thank SpeedGaming, of course. Go Senpai here, but as the whole SpeedGaming staff and community for allowing us to put on this tournament on their channel. Right after this, we've got Link to the Past randomizer tournament, and we also on SpeedGaming 1, the main channel, so twitch.tv/SpeedGaming, we have the Hollow Knight Rando Lockout Bingo, all sorts of stuff coming up. We also want to thank Rupert83, the admin and organizer of this tournament, for putting on this tournament that we do every year. It is so fun. It is a blast. And once again, GG's to our runners. But that is going to do it for this edition of the 2020 SMB1 Warpless tournament. Many more runs and games to come. We've got a whole lot more knockout stages. They're still being scheduled, but we will see you all on the next one. Make sure to tune in to SpeedGaming for all the schedules, speedgaming.org/schedule to check out the schedule. And we will see you all on the next episode. Have a great night, everybody.